as to the location.
Yeah.
Right? So you think of a yacht club. What do you think of? You think of kind of seersucker pants, maybe like a little light knit jacket, right? Not something so verbose. You're not going in a business room or a conference room. So I'm going to go just probably some khakis, maybe some boat shoes.
Okay. No socks.
No socks. It's going to be a little hot. And then I'll probably go a nice pink tucked in polo with a nice little belt, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be good.
Now it's a wedding on a yacht.
No, yacht club.
Yacht club. Will they be playing yacht rock music?
I don't know what the playlist is going to be.
It's got to fit with the tube.
Isn't there a little yachty? Is there a little yachty?
Yeah, they could play little yachty as well. There's a lot of musical options.
We'll see, but more than likely, it's going to be some Billy Joel.
All right.
Maybe throw in some Drake. It's going to be a
Drake is dead. It's going to be Kendrick, Not Like Us, on repeat.
Sure, whatever that may be. If they're still battling, let's get into it.
All right. Welcome to Big Ben and K-Win on nofilter.net and YouTube. If you're more of an audio podcast, we got you covered. Download, listen, and subscribe wherever you get your audio podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the NL West wildcard race and division title, the AL West wildcard race and division title, the NFL, and much, much more. I'm K-Win. He's Big Ben. Where do you want to start?
Let's go to the NL West. Let's start there. I mean, you got your Giants, the Diamondbacks, the Padres, the Dodgers. There's much more intrigue in the NL West.
So Mookie Betts is back from injury, activated on Monday. Walker Buehler was activated, pitched last night. Muncy's still out. Kershaw is back. It's hard to keep track with who's in and who's out of this Dodger super team. But I think it's going to be a wild, wild race to the end. You've got the Padres and the Diamondbacks, the two hottest teams in baseball. Listen to this, Big Ben. Since the All-Star break, the Diamondbacks are 20-5. Padres are 19-4. The Dodgers are 15-8, but at that rate, they can't sustain this lead. They're up 2.5 games. The Padres are clicking on all cylinders. The Diamondbacks surprisingly are playing well. Ketel Martinez out day to day. He could be a runner-up for NL MVP. He's hitting 298, 30 home runs, 70-plus RBIs. Christian Walker's out, but they haven't missed a beat because they have Josh Bell. So I'm excited for this race to the finish. I don't think the Dodgers will win the title. They will make the playoffs, but I don't think they have enough pitching around them. They've been able to outslug their teams, other teams, but coming in to the final stretch when they're playing the Padres, the Diamondbacks, even my Giants, I think the Dodgers are in trouble.
You mentioned the Giants passively in there. Are we assuming they're out of the race? Dunzo, mail it in.
Dunzo.
Done.
It's a mathematical numbers game. They've got 3 teams ahead of them. Those 3 teams are better than them. And they've got to play all of those teams down the stretch. I don't think they can make up enough ground when you're playing the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Padres.
Oh, I absolutely
that's all
agree
they're
with you. They have a 5% chance to make the playoffs right now as it stands. With Major League. The interesting part is all 3 of the teams you mentioned, better than 90% chance. So what we see playing out is the NL West making up 3 of those playoff spots. But to your point, who's going to win the division and who's going to win home field advantage? And who of those 3 teams? Right
now, I would pick the Padres.
Okay.
The Diamondbacks, if Ketel I keep calling Ketel Martinez. If Ketel Marte's injury is serious and he's going to miss more time, Christian Walker's out. They've been playing hot, but I think that they'll come back to earth. The Dodgers just don't have enough pitching. They're going to be there in the end, but they don't have enough pitching.
Now, is this recency bias? Is it just because you went to Bark in the Park and you got a Padres hat on?
Up close, look at the team. The energy's there. The excitement's there.
I think I agree with you. Now, let me make a transition to the AL West. You look at the team.
Before we leave, there's one thing I want to talk to you about. Shohei Ohtani.
Ooh, Ohtani.
Got to get these numbers in real time. Hold on. The intern is texting them in as we speak. Thank you. Just got him. He has 37 home runs, 33 steals as of today. 41 games left. He's on pace for, wait for it, 50 home runs and 47 stolen bases. There's been 5 other people who've done 40-40. No one has ever done 50-50 because it's pretty hard. I got a 2-part question for you. Will we ever see 50-50 in our lifetime? And can Shohei get there this year?
I think there's a high. Okay, so if we think about 50-50, who are the people that have done it? Largely, I think Barry Bonds did it twice.
No one's done
No,
50-50.
40-40, excuse me.
So you've got the great Jose Canseco, you got Barry Bonds, you got Soriano, you've got your boy A-Rod, and Acuna from the Padres.
Okay, let's just take a. So what do all those guys have in common outside of maybe Acuna?
Quick twitch bat.
Not only that, but maybe some help. I think it can happen, and here's why. I think stolen bases are up, so there's going to lend itself to more opportunities. Teams are inherently, it's like going for it on fourth down, having someone steal. Right, there's a higher probability for success of a stolen base, so why not? And giving Ohtani the green light, and then you look at, I think, the players that could probably do it. You got guys like De La Cruz who are going to steal 50 bags. Acuna did it, right? I think Ohtani's got a chance, but it's got to happen. The window is about 3 years wide, right? Because if he comes back to pitching and they allow him to come back to pitching, they're not going to let him steal bases. He may not bat as much, right? So
the window's this year then, now that you break it down like that.
It might be, yeah. It might be just this year that he has the opportunity. And why not? If you're the Dodgers, let him go do it. I mean, you're paying all that money. Why not stretch 50? It would be amazing for Dodgers ownership, managerial staff to go, listen, look at, you don't think this guy's worth it? He's the only guy ever to get 50-50. That's why we paid him so much. Justification to the spend. So the window is probably this year for Ohtani. I don't see any other players. Maybe Bobby Witt doesn't have that much power, so he can't get there. I don't think. De La Cruz, same thing. I think he's a 30 home run max type of guy. So Ohtani's probably and Acuna, having done it before, the lone remaining guys.
I mean, so what did I say? He's at 37 home runs. We're halfway through the month. I think if he could get to 42 home runs by September 1st, he's got a legitimate chance of doing it. So Ohtani's home runs by month. April, he hit 7. May, he hit 7. June, he was on a heater. He hit 12. July, he hit 6. August, he has 5 so far. So he's going to need to at least get to 42, 43 to have a shot. So we'll keep you updated on the Ohtani 50-50 watch.
50-50. Yeah. That's amazing.
I know.
And you don't think about it. Ohtani stealing bases? Everyone's stealing bases these days. You know who's not stealing anything, including wins, is the Mariners. Hoofda. All right, we go out to the AL West. It's a 2-team race. Yeah. And I'm wearing a Royals hat for a reason. The Royals are going to make the playoffs more than likely, just because of the wild card and how strong the AL Central is. The AL West is atrocious. I mean, the down year for the Texans. The Angels are
they're playing like the Angels.
Right. Rendon doesn't want to play. They're just rolling the team. Taylor Ward's probably the best player on the team, and he's just playing to play. Trout's not coming back anytime soon. And A's, the Sacramento A's are the Sacramento A's. But I looked at the relationship between quality starts and wins this year for the Mariners, and it's a decent percentage. But what I look at is the offense is so stagnant. They lost a 2-2 game, they're up 2-0 in the 7th yesterday. Relieved Brian Wu. And what happens? A 3 or 2-run home run to win it, and then the Tigers win in extras. You look across down at Houston. Houston's 8-2 in the last 10 games.
Yeah,
it's a matter of my saying is the Astros are who we thought they are, and just a good team. Yolan Alvarez is hitting above 300 now. Like Bregman, Altuve, all these guys, they're about 7 deep. The Mariners, they're struggling to get Julio on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their quality starts are, I think they have 12 more than the closest, who are the Phillies, at 73. But yet they're wasted.
Yeah.
And arms, as you and I know, wane towards the end of the season. You got to have a stronger bullpen, which is why I believe the Padres will win the West as well. But the Astros are just, they got Baltimore and Philly coming up. And you start looking at the schedule, right? Because it's a daily scoreboard watch from here on out.
And they've got to win the division, the Mariners, to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, they're not getting there on a wild card ticket. So you got to win the division, something they haven't done in, I don't know, before I was born, maybe. I have no idea. It's been a long time. And so when you look at matchups, the only place where the Mariners are going to be able to pick up any games is that road stretch that the Astros have against Baltimore, 4-game set, Phillies, 3-game set. And here's the weird thing about the Mariners. They just swept the Mets, who might have been a playoff team, but the Mets looked jet lagged the entire series. So you got to start winning games against the teams you got to win games against. And Detroit is one of them, and you've already lost 2 out of 3. Or excuse me, 2 in the series. You might get swept today at a 9:40 Pacific time game, so it's going to be early. Mariners aren't a playoff team today. They just aren't.
Help is on the way, though. They go to Pittsburgh. The Pirates have lost 10 straight games. That is the good news. The bad news is Paul Skeens is on the bump on Friday night. So you got to hope that the Mariners can get 2 out of 3 and get back in this thing. Phillies have struggled a little bit. O's have been up and down. So we need some help from our friends out in Philadelphia and Baltimore to knock off the Astros to get the Mariners back in the race.
That Friday night game might be the game of the year for the Mariners, to be honest, because you're pitching Logan Gilbert, who is
great match.
If he's on any other team, he's a Cy Young candidate. We just saw Tariq. I don't want to get his last name, but he's a Seattle U alum for the Tigers. He's a Cy Young candidate. But you see both
Tariq
Skubal, really, really phenomenal pitcher. But Gilbert and Skeens going this Friday. Yeah. Like that's going to be, I don't know, for me personally, having any invested interest in any game where you're just going to see 2 better pitchers this year. Bar none, barn away.
Take the under.
Take the under. I don't see the Mariners getting to the playoffs. I just don't. I can't see it at this point. The Astros are too loaded. The lineup's there. The Mariners are piecing together parts, call-ups. There's going to be a lot of movement from the train to Seattle to Tacoma and vice versa here down the stretch. So hopefully they prove me wrong. K-Win jinx is in effect. The Mariners may not make the playoffs again this year, or at least win the division again this year when they probably had a chance to run away with it.
It's time for them to prove me wrong, to prove everyone wrong. I'm pulling for the M's, but it's looking like they're not going to be able to get it done. It all comes down to they have pitching. Their bullpen, I think, is good enough, but they can't get runners on base. They can't get timely hitting. They can't get any sort of hitting. And so they're not winning any of these games after all of these quality starts.
You're right, my friend. You are right. It's going to be telling these next 10 days, really, because the Astros are 2.5 up. They stretch that to 6. That's almost, 10 games with half the season ago. That's surmountable. 6 games with a quarter of the season ago. That's even tougher.
Yeah. And the Rangers are just going to be playing to knock other teams out of the playoffs. So the Mariners will have some games with the A's and the Angels, but then they got to play the Astros and the Rangers. So they got to make up some ground now so that they can stay in the race.
All right. Your team's out of it.
Yeah.
Unless
my new team's in it.
Your new team's in it. My new team's in it. Let's talk football.
Whoa. A little Manny Machado. It's a stress ball.
I like that.
Yeah, let's talk football. We're going to start with what do we do, or what would you do with Brandon Aiyuk? They're going to sign him. They're going to trade him.
God,
they're going to sign him. They're going to trade him.
If Brandon Aiyuk wasn't on the Niners, like this would be a tertiary story. This wouldn't even be, because Aiyuk had a good year last year, but we talked about this. He had a good year.
Second team, all NFL, all Pro Ball, whatever you call it.
Yeah, but that was
All Pro.
because everyone was injured. Kittle was injured. Debo was injured. McCaffrey was injured. He was the only consistent thing going and he benefited from it. And right on him, he's trying to capitalize. He's probably peaked. Let's be honest. He's probably peaked. No one knew Brandon Aiyuk going into this year. He did.
Is he a top 10 wide receiver? Should he get paid like a
if he
top
was
10
a top 10
wide
wide
receiver?
receiver, the Niners would pay him. Or someone would trade for him like he is a top 10. They'd give up a first-round pick for him. But that's not happening. I think Ayuk's finding frustration in that he believes his market value is much higher than everyone else perceives it as.
I think Aiyuk doesn't want to leave San Francisco. I think he wants to get paid. And I think he's pulling all these stunts to try to get paid in San Francisco. Like, let's go through the timeline. Him and Jayden Daniels conversation was released on TikTok. They don't want me. He direct tweets to Mike Tomlin. He's got a trade in place with the Browns. I don't want to go to the Browns. The Pats are supposedly going to offer him $30 million. I don't want to go to the Pats. Like, he should have been traded at this point. Either the Niners should have been like, see ya, you're out the door, we're going to trade you. Or the Niners got to figure out a way to sign him. So I think the only reason he hasn't been traded is because they are going to sign him. Like, the Niners are projected to be willing to double his current contract. So it's like $14.1 million. It's his fifth year. So that, what is that? $28 million. That's puts him right in the range. Jefferson's at the high end. Nico Collins is at the low. So at like $28 million, you should sign with the Niners. You're getting paid as a top 10 player. You get what you want. The Niners don't want to trade him for picks. I think we're doing this little dance, but he will end up in San Francisco.
I think you're right. He's trying to use leverage. I mean, and I'm sure all the Niners fans are saying they can't be indifferent on him. They saw what he did on the field. You got to a Super Bowl, not solely because of him, but he filled in adequately when you didn't have any more weapons on offense. He'll end up, and here's the thing. I think what San Fran's telling him is like, hey, listen, this is a Super Bowl team. You're going to play on a Super Bowl team. You can go sign with the Browns. You can go sign with Pittsburgh. You can go, like, you have the best chance to succeed with our organization. And you need to see that. And I think the the Niners are expecting him to take somewhat of a discount as compared to a guy like Nico Collins, who I'm sure he's using as a leverage chip for negotiation.
Listen, all players want two things. They want to get paid and they want to win a Super Bowl. Brandon Aiyuk can only do that in San Francisco. He's not winning a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh or in Cleveland. He can get paid in those cities, but he knows that deep down inside, and that's why none of these trades have taken place yet.
Yep, I got you. Okay, my headline going in the year. Are we good with Aiyuk?
We're great with Aiyuk.
We spent more time on Aiyuk than we did Ohtani. It shouldn't be relative like that. My headline going in the year. I believe this rookie class is going to make the same splash looking back that the Marino, Kelly, Elway class did. And not just quarterback wise. So
Okay.
I'm going to name three quarterbacks, Daniels, Williams, and the third in this equation isn't Drake May.
Is
It's
it someone
Bo
who
Nix.
busted his knee? Oh, what about JJ? McCarthy, he looked good.
Maybe. Okay, if JJ doesn't go down, he might be in the equation. But for me, it's Williams, it's Daniels, and it's Bo Nix. And I think Bo Nix has the opportunity somewhat relative to like what Kelly had coming into a situation where they just hadn't had a quarterback in so long. And Nix is going to benefit from the bar being literally this high. Whereas, and same for Williams, and probably same could be said for Daniels in that their predecessors just weren't great. I mean, the Bears have had quarterback upon quarterback upon quarterback. Justin Fields, a glimmer of hope, gave the Bears. So I think this rookie class, Rome Odunze, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors. I mean, those six
Brock
guys.
Bowers.
Thank you. That was my last guy. And then throw a tight end in, right? Those six guys, and for my fantasy league, Blake Corum can be the running back. But those six guys, I think, are going to be very good make a pretty good, not pretty good, let's call it you're going to win a few more games this year with them on your team. And I think they're difference makers. And I think it's going to happen in their rookie year.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to see this. They're going to be thrown in the fire, and they're going to excel. The rookie class is great this year. From a position player standpoint.
With football, it's all about talent, but it's scheme and it's personnel. And why I like what you just said, because look at Washington. They've got Scary Terry. They've got Jahan Dotson. He's a mobile quarterback. I think Daniels is going to come in and make waves. I have him as a favorite to win Rookie of the Year over Caleb Williams.
Yep.
Caleb Williams has Keenan Allen, Adunze, DJ Moore. They got Swift. Nix probably has, I guess, the lesser of personnel out of all of the three, but he still has Cortland Sutton. They've got Javonte Williams. They've got some good people around him. I think they all will do well. And these wide receivers, like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, and they're coming into the league like in year one and year two and producing and like being right at the top of their wide receiver class. And I think we're going to see the same thing from Neighbors, Harrison, and even Brock Bowers. Like the Raiders have a tight end, but Brock Bowers, he's a wide receiver.
Yep.
Like they're just going to move him around, put him in different positions, and take advantage of mismatches. I can't wait to see what all of these rookies do.
Yeah, and you're right in that they're being brought into situations that are favorable for them. There's no question. Like no one's saying, is it Jayden Daniels or so-and-so backup or Caleb Williams and so on. No, we're invested heavily in these guys. We're going to make it work. And I mean, the Bears put players around Caleb Williams. You know, it's not an empty cupboard. Same with Jayden Daniels, as you just mentioned. And then you look at Bo Nix. Bo Nix he has Gerard Judy's been hurt, Cortland Sutton, kind of Mims and these guys, but anything's better than what they've had in previous years. I mean,
and he's got Sean Payton calling the plays, right?
Yes, exactly. So all those guys, and then Brock Bowers, beyond Devontae Adams, the Raiders has very little. Jacoby Myers is okay, but Brock Bowers is going to be given every opportunity to excel. I think it's the year of the rooks.
Love it. I think it's the year of your text message. Turn your phone off, please. All right, should we wrap this up?
Let's get out of here. Big Ben K-Win at Big Ben K-Win on Instagram. Are we still on Threads?
We're still on TikTok, Threads. Facebook. Ooh, anywhere you get your social media.
Anywhere. X?
Yeah, we're on X too.
Man. Okay.
Not all the time, but sometimes.
Subscribe to YouTube. Go on our channel. Next time it pops up on your smart TV, just give a gander. At Big Ben K-Win _ all social media. We just covered your MLB races in the West and the NFL. I wish you would have brought up Aiyuk.
We have to. It's a headline. It's either Aiyuk or the Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
Too much airtime with
Let's talk about a team that's going to get to the playoffs. I'm tired of the Jets.
We shouldn't promote holding out and like asking for more. No, just play the game. Get out there. 14 mil. Actually, in California, that's more like you're netting probably 7. So I get it.
Exactly.
Okay. I get it, Brandon Aiyuk. Okay, at Big Ben K-Win. You got anything for us? What are we getting out to? What color is that hat?
I think it's a teal with a little pink.
Solid.
Or it's a little darker than a pink. It's going to look like your shirt that you're wearing to your Yacht Rock concert this weekend.
Send me that hat. It will go well.
All right, I will.
Pair it up. Okay, at Big Ben K-Win every Thursday. And we're out.
We're out. Boom.
Boom.